Now, in case you haven't been following me, I decided to do a little sprinkler project that we are going to get into a little bit later, but it left me with a lot of ruts, a lot of problems, so I figured I'd just go ahead and smoke the lawn and start from scratch. Now, part of this process is we want to get rid of some of our undulations, some of our areas that are less even than others. Got some problem areas along this side where it really takes a dip. I've got problems along my base of my border that I'd like to take care of today, so we're gonna start out with that. A couple of areas I'd like to tackle along the perimeter of my concrete border here. It's actually just not level at all. It's hard to get the right angle, but when we come down to it, it's almost a slope of about 4 inches, takes a dip and then comes back up, and it's all because that concrete border sank. So I'd like to fix it there. Then we come along the perimeter here, I got the same problem right here where it really just takes a dip, and there's just not a lot that you can do about it, especially when we get a lot of frost heave over the winter. That's where we get water that freezes, that pushes up. Some of the areas sink, and when we get a low spot, we get a high spot. Now, I want to take care of this because it's dangerous for the mower. You can catch blade on that, hit rocks, etc. I don't want that. So I'm going to try to pry this up, and we're going to shove a bunch of rocks in it. Now, fixing this is much easier if you have 2 to 3 people at the same time. I'm impatient, so the risk that I'm going to run is breaking the concrete. So I've got to be very, very careful. If it breaks, I'm going to call the guy back. Eventually, a couple of months later, he's going to come back, so we might have to do a patch job. So my first step in this little process that we're going to do to raise the concrete border is actually just turn the water on. We are going to wet these areas down. They're a little bit dry. I haven't watered for a couple of days, and we've been spiking temperatures into the 80s, and this year's just kind of tough, right? We went from having maybe 40, 50 degree weather, spike up to 82, go back down into the 50s, nighttime temps below 30s. It's been a hard year for grass. Now we're starting to hit the 80s pretty consistently. I'm really late on this project, but I'm excited. Okay, so we're just gonna start out with the shovel. I'm going to clear some of this area, just see how easy it's going to raise or not. I'm kind of 50-50 on how well this is gonna work. Ooh, we got some movement. I'm gonna cut a few holes surrounding it, probably 3 or 4, and then I'm going to dig out and then slide some rocks in every time I level it up. But I'm actually pretty excited because I thought this was gonna be a total hodgepodge that I was getting into. So a little excited that this might go my way. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch though. Now, lucky for me, when we were doing this sprinkler project that I'm making another video about, I have a whole pile of rocks here to choose from. So this is gonna be easy peasy. See, I used to work out. Makes it a lot simpler if you used to work out. Okay, so test that out. Oh, that's looking so much better. It's ridiculous. I love these simple projects. So I've only got one rock in place, but it was the right size. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at these seams. You used to have a nice big old butted edge. Now I've still got a gap here. Not much I can do about that. I'm not too stressed about getting it perfect. It just needs to be way better than what it was before. Now, this piece, you'll notice now we have a gap here and we have a gap here. So once we settle this one, then we're gonna be good. I'm actually gonna take the pieces of grass out here and just start wedging rocks because I wanna make sure it stays. I'm gonna get a little bit of settling due to the water, and that's all right. Embracing the suck and it's paying off. I'm actually really happy with this. Let me show you. All right, so that huge gap that I had here is nearly gone. I've still got, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, but this is permissible compared to what it was. But you notice, no gap here. Got all these rocks all bridged in here now, like a little wall, you know. And then check this out. This, we got it down to about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch. Happy with that. Not dissatisfied. Now that I got that one tackled, let's move on to this one now. This one for me is really important simply for the fact that I have a huge gap right here. Huge gap. It's about 1/2 inch, maybe 1 inch, and then it dips down. So I get a lot of pooling water here. Not super fun to mow. So while I'm at it, embrace the suck. Let's go. Oh, would you look at that goodness? We are just about level. Now, I'm counting on this sinking just a little once I start watering everything, because it's gonna be heavier. There's gonna be some gaps to fill. You can really see how far off it was. Just a little insane, right? When we get this piece of grass, flatten it out a little bit. And now this is reality. Almost 2 inches of difference of slope. Would you look at this before and after? Holy cow. Check this out. Nice seam now. And look at the height difference, man. Almost 2.5, 3 inches. Now, I did put water on this just to get it to settle a little bit before we start diving into the dirt. But I mean, holy cow. Look at this, guys. Almost 3 inches of height difference all the way across. Now that seam here, nice and smooth, maybe 1/16, eighth of an inch off, not too bad. So projects like these are a big win. I'm gonna feel this every single week, which is nice. No more water pooling up in the corners, no more water pooling up by the driveway, and every time I mow, I can get a nice tight mow, and I can actually mow right on top of my concrete border, which I'm really excited about. Sometimes you just got to embrace the suck. And I really enjoy the projects after they're done. It's just getting the motivation to do it. But this has been on my list for quite some time, so I'm really excited. Well, guys, join me next time as we level this lawn 2021. As per the usual, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up in the comments below, guys. Till next time, guys, Pest and Lawn Juju. We're slaying lawns. There we go. Oh.